Alright, so think of an upgrade for your weekend. Now think about it. What do we mostly do on our weekends? We either stay at home doing nothing, or especially for the young people in here, we go out clubbing. Now, how about I give you an alternative that saves you the hangover, saves you erasing memories, and actually creates new ones. Welcome to the microtrip. What is microtrip? A microtrip is a trip to a city less than 3 hours away from your home that you explore for 1 or 2 days during the weekend. Now you might think this sounds incredibly boring and lame, and the reason for that is proximity bias. What is proximity bias? Well, it basically just says that anything that seems distant or far away, your brain sees as special. But if you think about a city in your own country that's not that far away from you, your brain says, lame, I already know that. When the truth couldn't be further away from that, because most cities have something to offer, alright? They either have nice architecture, or there's some interesting museums, there might be food you've never tried, because maybe every region in your country has different types of food that they like. And so any city you go to that's not your city, you can find something new. But what am I implying concretely? It's simple. You pack your stuff on Friday, Saturday morning you take off to the new city. You can either take the train, or especially if there's a multiple of you, if you go with your friends, you can go there by car, and it's going to be substantially cheaper than train, because gas prices are just going to be split up and it's going to be cheap. You stay there either till Saturday evening, or if you want to, if you think that the city has enough to offer, you can stay till Sunday and just stay the night in a hostel, for example. You take a bed, and so either Saturday evening or Sunday evening you come back home. Very simple, 1 or 2 days full of new things that you can see, and there's 3 rules that you should definitely follow. Now, rule number 1, you should definitely have an anchor in that city for each day. What is an anchor? An anchor is basically just something that you definitely want to see. It might be a museum, it might be a beach, it might be some cool viewpoint, it might be some, crazy building, whatever it is, something that you find interesting, where you say, when I go to that city, that's what I want to see. So you can have one anchor for Saturday and one for Sunday, and you definitely visit those anchors. Rule number 2, make sure you walk as much as you can. Now, this isn't about collecting steps or sports, it's about actually discovering the city. Because when you walk around the city, you see way more than if you just browse through it with a bus or the tram. And so you can increase the discovery factor even more when you walk around the city with open eyes and an open mind. Now, one example of how to do this would be to find a hostel either at the train station or in the old town, just somewhere in the center, so that you have like a base point, and from there you can walk to anchor number 1 and explore that area by foot. You go back there, and then on the second day, on Sunday, you can walk to anchor 2 the same and explore the area around anchor 2. So you've walked a lot, you've seen a lot in just 2 days. And rule number 3 is going to be about food. I know we all love food, we all love discovering new foods, so you're gonna want to have at least one restaurant picked out before you get there, where you also say, just like the anchor, that's a restaurant I want to visit. Maybe that city has to offer something special, like whatever, a cool donut shop, a cool Asian restaurant, whatever it is. Many cities have like a specialty on what they do, or maybe there's some traditional food that you want to try. Definitely have one restaurant that you definitely want to go to. Secondly, you want to have a backup restaurant. How do you find this? Like I said, rule number 2, walk around a lot and walk around with open eyes. That's what I said. That's what I told you to do. So when you walk around with open eyes, you're gonna see restaurants, and you're probably gonna find something cool, something special, something that looks fancy or nice, and alright, that's a restaurant I want to go to tomorrow or this evening. And so you've got one place picked out before, you've got one place that you've seen, and the rest you can just make up spontaneously, or always go back to option 1 or 2 when you want to. But Dargo, this is way too expensive, I can't afford this. Well, my friend, think again. So you go out on a Saturday night, right? The club probably takes 10 or 20 bucks for the entrance. In today's age and time, you can easily spend what, 60, 80, $100 just on drinks, especially if you pay around for your friends. And then you have to get home with an Uber or taxi, which is also another 10 to $20 because you're drunk. Plus, you're hungover the next day, which is not cool. And so the micro trip, you can finance that easily on $100, $120, no problems. Now, the one point where it might get funky is transportation, because train tickets can be quite expensive. So a workaround is either find a different date, find a different city, or if you somehow can get that by car, because it's most of the time going to be cheaper, especially if you're going to be traveling with your friends, because if you split up the gas prices, as I already said, it basically comes out to almost nothing. But let's even say you get a train ticket for $30 there and back. $30, the hostel is going to be anywhere between $20 and $30, so let's even say we're at 60, and then you're gonna eat 4 meals: Saturday lunch and dinner, Sunday breakfast and lunch before you get home. So that's 4 meals, $15 each, for a main course and a beverage. It's gonna be $60. So we're right around the $120 area, and you've spent 2 full days having discovered a new city, having made new memories, which is, in my opinion, way better than waking up hungover and basically poisoned your body. And in the end, you're gonna have the same spend, but a better story. Let's get practical now. What do we pack? You're definitely gonna have a checklist right here. Don't forget your ID or passport. I think that's quite logical. Don't forget your wallet. Don't forget your phone. And please don't forget your phone charger. It's so easy to forget your goddamn phone charger because you're in a rush, you want to leave, and it stays at home. Don't do that. Make sure your phone charger is in the bag before you leave and before you take off. Now, another little tip is take a water bottle, because you don't want to be running around the new city all the time having to buy new beverages. Alright, take a water bottle, fill it up at home, and when you're in the city, you can fill it up anywhere. You can fill it up in bathrooms, you can fill it up on like free water suspenders, whatever. You don't want to be buying water bottles for $2, $3, $4 every couple hours. Then, depending on the season, the clothing is gonna change. You probably should take a light jacket just in case the weather turns or whatever. You should be wearing comfy shoes, and then basically all you need is a mini bag of toiletries with your toothbrush, toothpaste, and a shower gel, and you're basically done. You don't need more than that. One thing I forgot as like a small extra, especially if you're staying in a hostel with other people, you can take a sleep mask and earplugs to make sure that no one wakes you up during the night. And so when packing, especially if you're going in the fall winter season, you want to make sure that you're always wearing your bulkiest layer, your bulkiest clothing on you, just to save space in the bag, and you pack the rest. What I would advise you to do is to split up your stay in that city or your trip into different time blocks. For example, if you're staying for 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, split it up into Saturday AM, PM, and Sunday AM, PM. And you should always know roughly what you want to do during that time block. So for example, Saturday AM is going to be your first anchor, whether it's a museum, a beach, whatever you've chosen. And Saturday PM is just going to be a discovery session around that anchor. Walk around, find the food, maybe find a park, just do something that's not planned, because those unplanned experiences often are the best ones. And then Sunday you can do the same thing, or Sunday you switch it up. Sunday you first do the spontaneous thing, then PM you do the second anchor before you come back home. There's probably going to be a couple objections your brain's going to make as to why you shouldn't go. First one's always going to be, ooh, it's too pricey. We've already covered that. A night out, most of the time, is going to be more expensive and give you less gains, basically. Then the next one is going to be, I don't have the time to plan this. My friend, you can do that in basically half an hour. All you need is a city that's less than 2 or 3 hours away. You need a bed and 2 anchors. That's all you need. Not that much, is it? And the third objection might be, my friends don't want to do this. I can't go alone. Let me tell you, yes you can. In my opinion, this is the perfect option to get into solo traveling, to experience solo traveling for the first time. Why? Well, you're just 2 or 3 hours away from home, you speak the language, and you're only gonna be away for 1 or 2 days. So basically this is the perfect thing that can show you that solo traveling isn't actually as bad as you might think it is, and just get you a little warmer to the idea of leaving your home alone. But also, if you're interested in doing this, you can just send this video to your friends to convince them to come with you. Now, if this has awakened a desire in you to explore something new, this is what I would like you to do. Go down to the comments and state your nearest microtip city. That way, you can have a starting point on where you want to go on your next microtrip. Also, if you find this idea intriguing, feel free to drop a like down below. That's it for today. See you next time.